Last weekend, Henry Whitehorn won the race to be Caddo Parish's new sheriff. After a one-vote difference in their race in the fall, Whitehorn becomes the first black sheriff to serve the parish. Maya Nicholson reports how young voters are largely responsible.
The number of voters surged for the March 2024 election. Some believe young voters played a key role.
And that's an invisible demographic, right? But it's an important demographic.
With the community voting on the same race multiple times, voter groups were encouraging people to register and be informed. It was done through walk to the poll efforts and local fraternity and sorority voter campaigns.
We wanted to hear from the other side just to see, what do you have to offer? And Sheriff Whitehorn was the only candidate in this election that had a real listening ear for our age group. And not only did he listen, he implemented a lot of things that the young people had to say.
He says young adults tend to stay engaged in elections through unconventional methods. He feels Henry Whitehorn was able to meet many of those voters at least halfway.
He came out and he was with us. We had Sunday fun days. He came out and spent that time with us, something many people will not do.
What they got to see in a reflection of themselves was not just black skin, but we got a chance to see an African American who was prepared, who was qualified, and who could comport himself in such a way that he got the confidence of enough people to become the sheriff.
Political analyst Theron Jackson says the surge is a plus for democracy and hopes voter turnout percentages increase.
Democracy is not about equality. Democracy is not about fairness. Democracy is about who shows up. And they showed up and made a difference. And I hope that seeing this level of success will motivate them to stay engaged.
Our demographics has been unheard, and we finally got a listening ear.
This week, Governor Jeff Landry went online and posted about his frustrations regarding U.S. District Court Judge Susie Morgan. He went as far as to say it may be time to take a look at impeaching her for, quote, prolonged mishandling of the New Orleans Police Department consent decree. He says she has distorted the law, decimated the ranks of NOPD, and handcuffed the police rather than the criminals, all while the citizens of this great city suffer from violent crime.
He started by saying that the Louisiana State Police are not under the consent decree or answerable to her purview in all of this. But she stated from the bench in open court that I'm watching, implying that the state police are somehow a bad influence on the New Orleans Police Department.
If Landry were to make a serious attempt at her impeachment, he would need the help of the U.S. House and Senate to push the articles of impeachment forward. However, some say Landry wouldn't have a strong enough case to get the support. Governor Landry also signed an executive order creating the governor's task force of the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans. The task force reviewed the billing process, governing structure, and the management and structure. The final report released this week. Rick O'Grieve reports their findings.
The report began by listing some serious problems addressed by the public during the 3 task force meetings this month. Some of the most critical issues include the botched billing system, clogged catch basins, and overall low confidence in the Sewage and Water Board by customers.
Operationally, with the catch basins and the pipes, the task force members just felt like that should have been solved a long time ago. Right, the billing issue should have been solved back in 2013. There were conversations about it then.
The report then offers solutions on how to resolve these problems. The task force recommends that the Department of Public Works no longer be involved in drainage issues like cleaning catch basins. Instead, the Sewage and Water Board would handle it. The report also recommends appointing an independent arbitration panel of retired judges to hear billing disputes.
It's time to bring that to fruition. And the way to do that is to have, to have in legislation that there is an arbitrator, a person who can listen to a dispute and make a decision and just move on.
In a potentially extreme case, the task force suggests a complete reform, bringing in an 11-member state board to oversee the Sewage and Water Board operations for 2 years, suspending the existing board of directors for that period. However, Rainwater says that early discussions have shown that this is currently very unlikely to happen.
Senator Jimmy Harris told me today that he would not support it because he doesn't feel like that it's at that level. It needs to have that level of reform.
In response to the report, the Sewerage and Water Board released their own statement saying, quote, "We must continue to confront these issues head on with a commitment to transparency, accountability, and meaningful change."
Up next, we'll have a look at your week ahead on your local election headquarters.